Okay, let's talk about an OR statement. This is a function that can help you maximize your KPIs for your business. It allows you to look at multiple logical expressions and see if any of them are true or if all of them are false, which is really powerful, especially when we combine it with the if statement so that we can assign text strings or number values to true or false results. So let's get into a practical business example of how you could use this. In this example, I have a sales team and I'm tracking calls they've made, meetings they've had, sales they've made, and total sales volume that they've made in a month. I'm trying to make a set of metrics here that tells me if they are either successful in their sales or that at least they're making the effort to be successful. So first, let's talk about the goal we've set. So in this example, we've set a goal of the salesperson having made 5 sales or sold $5,000. So we're going to use an or statement here. Type equal sign or, open our parentheses. I'm going to reference sales made. So the cell in column D2 is greater than or equal to, always the caret before the equal sign. Remember that because it does not work the other way. So greater than or equal to, and I could either type 5 or I could reference this cell here. If I reference this cell, remember to lock it with your dollar signs before the column and before the row, so it doesn't move when we drag our formula down. Comma, so that comma is stating the or. So sales made is greater than or equal to 5, or they've hit sales total of greater than or equal to 5,000. Again, I could type it. I'm going to do the reference range so I can mess with it later. Okay, and I close my parentheses. I could continue doing this. I could add 5 statements. I could have 6. I could have however many ors I want, but this is what I'm going to do for right now. So I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to autofill, and we can see that this next one was false because they only made 4 sales and less than $2,000 in sales volume. Great. So now I can look at this and I can decide if that's the metric I want. I could also eventually say, okay, I want to bump this up to 6 sales, or I want to bring this down to $4,000. That's the benefit of having reference cells, is you can start messing with what these metrics look like instead of having to come in here and manually retype, 6 instead of 5 or 4,000 instead of 5,000, those types of things. So great. Now we have a true or false, which is fine to look at, but there's also value in being able to assign some sort of string to the true or false answer. So I'm going to show you how to do that with an if statement combination for this missed goal column. So in this case, I see that my salespeople have missed their goal for number of sales made, but that doesn't mean they're not trying. So I want to also measure against how many calls or meetings they've had. So in this one, I'm going to use an if to start so that I can eventually assign some sort of text string to my true or false answer. And I'm going to use 3 criteria in my or statement. So first, this is going to go if and then or immediately. So if or, and then I'm going to start typing my criteria for whether or not this is true or false. In this case, I want to say if goal was not met. So actually, I want this to be if it was met. So if F2 equals true, because if that is true, I don't want it to do anything in this cell. Or, which is my comma, if call count is greater than or equal to the call count 50 down here, my reference cell, again, dollar sign locking it before the row and the column, comma to say or again, meetings is greater than or equal to 10, lock my cell here. So those are all my or statements. I'm going to close out my or with that closing parentheses. And now my statement here, my function is saying, if any of this is true, then provide me a true result of what? And in my case, I don't want anything to pop up here. I want it to be blank, so I'm just going to type 2 quotation marks, meaning I can ignore those people because they've either hit their sales goal or they've hit some sort of effort metric that I've set. But if they have not hit either of those things or any of those things, their sales goal, the 50 calls, or the 10 meetings, which I just noticed that this cell is referencing the wrong one. There we go. Then I want a false statement to say something like meet with. So I know it flags me that I need to set a meeting with this person to talk about their effort. I'm going to close my parentheses. I'm going to hit return. I'm I'm going to autofill by hitting Command Return or Control Return. And now you can see that I have some of these listed. I added some conditional formatting, so this is easier to see. But some of these are listed as meet with, which means that they are under 50 calls, under 10 meetings, under 5 sales, and under $5,000. So I need to meet them. But some of these who did not hit their sales goal, see this one didn't hit their sales goal, they had 10 meetings. So they were actively working to get sales. So I don't need to meet with them. They're on track. And that is the power of or and if combined and or alone. It's really helpful for setting these metrics, setting expectations, and seeing if those expectations have been met. And remember, if you lock your reference cells, then you can come and play around and change your metrics to see maybe you need to lower your expectations or maybe you need to bring your expectations higher. Lots of things. You can play around with all those things if you lock your cells. So get out there, give it a try, and see how this can maximize your operational efficiency.